And the Code of Conduct Tribunal has found Justice Walter Onnoghen guilty of not declaring assets in 5 different bank accounts. For this, he has been removed as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He is no longer the chair of the NJC. He can't hold a public office for the next 10 years, and he is meant to forfeit all of the monies in those 5 bank accounts on the purview. Now, what is his next game? Is it over for Walter Onnoghen? What next for Onnoghen? To have that conversation right here, we have Kola Alakmini. He is a legal practitioner. Kola, what were your thoughts when you heard that he has been found guilty on all 6 charges?
I wasn't surprised.
You weren't surprised?
No.
Okay. Well, a lot of people have said
with the
that.
handwriting on the wall, right from the beginning of the trial, you could see where it was going. The trial was conducted, or it appears to the common man on the streets that they were out to nail the Chief Justice. So it wasn't.
But what's your sentiments towards this? Everything that has been happening so far. I mean, leading up to this. What's your sentiment?
How do you mean?
In terms of what do you think how do you think this affects the judiciary? The presidency has come out to say that this is a step in the right direction in the fight against corruption, but some people are also feeling maybe this was a witch hunt entirely.
I think it was a very sad day for Nigerian judiciary. I don't condone corruption in any quarters. I'm just saying that there's a procedure which you should remove the CJN, and this is prescribed in the Constitution. You need to go through the Senate, get towards majority for you to be able to remove him. That wasn't done. The man did not resign or retire compulsorily initially. So, and then you take him to before this tribunal. The jurisdiction of the tribunal was challenged. The tribunal decided to sit and say, at the end of the day, I'll conclude, or I'll let you know if I actually have jurisdiction. Who does that?
Exactly, it was one of those things that surprised some people, especially.
And then you can look at all the precedents that we had. You want to swear in a new acting CJN. It didn't pass through the NJC. We had a case in Abia State where the same scenario occurred. The governor was having a problem with the CJ. The governor removes the CJ and decides to swear in another person. The NJC compulsorily tried that judge, saying that he shouldn't have submitted himself.
Interestingly, we may not have seen the recommendation of the NJC to the presidency, although we know that Onnoghen's lawyer has, confirmed that the NJC. But there are reports that the NJC has said that Tanko Mohammed did not do anything wrong by accepting to fill the vacuum when Onnoghen was suspended.
You have to avert your eyes to when the NJC recommendations actually made it to the presidency. The presidency had swung into action by removing Onnoghen before the NJC recommendations came. And like I said, we always do things the other way around in this country. What should have happened was that NJC will have sent their recommendations, because the whole principle is, have you ever seen a policeman being put in the dock in Nigerian uniform?
No, there's an orderly trial.
Have you ever seen a military man, if he, for whatever he has done, being put in the civilian court in his military uniform? The answer is no. You need to strip him of his military garment or his police, whatever first. That's why there's an orderly room trial. That's why you have a court martial. It's when you strip him of that standing as a military man, if he has done something in a civilian, if he's committed a civilian offense, that's when you now put him in the docks. And it's the same thing, the same principle that we have at NJC. You cannot try a sitting judge without the recommendation of the NJC. It has to be subject to the internal disciplinary measure first.
But I still ask this question, though we don't have proof of that, we have not seen the recommendation. There are reports that the NJC, in the recommendation sent to the presidency, that they say that Tanko Mohammed has done nothing wrong. In fact, the presidency hasn't really done anything wrong by swearing in Tanko Mohammed in the stead.
That would mean that the NJC is overruling itself. based on the Abia precedent, which I pointed out to you, it could also mean that the NJC is trying to please the president. Because, I mean, if we look at the doctrine of separation of powers, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive are supposed to be at par. One only just executes, and that is the executive. So we're talking about the third arm of government here, and we're talking about the head of the arm of government.
What about situations or people who have also said that the CCT itself overruled itself when, it said, we have the jurisdiction to try this matter. So you're seeing situations where, different bodies, different courts are overruling themselves just to somehow fit into this narrative that is playing out.
You must also realize that this man, the judge himself, was it the judge?
Danladi Umar?
Yeah, Danladi Umar. He's not a judge. He's
a chair of the CCT.
Chair of the CCT.
Yeah.
He himself was facing the FCC accusations.
According to him yesterday
before the I think Attorney General or someone waved it off. So yes. It's all like a game of chess, Game of Thrones, to use the
Well, yesterday one of the motions that was brought before him was the motion that he should recuse himself from that particular.
Yes, and
he overruled it. He actually threw it out.
Justice must not
be
done, but must be seen to be manifestly done. In the courts of law, you do not have to prove bias. All that is needed to be proved for you to show is a likelihood of bias. So if someone comes up and says, I don't think I'm going to get justice before you, you should wash your hands off and allow someone else to take it. Because no matter what you're going to come up, he has already cast, thrown, and he should have recused himself.
Interesting. Now, Onnoghen has appealed the judgment of the CCT, and that is what a lot of people expect him to do. But what do you think will happen? Do you think he will get there will be a reversal or anything in the appeal court? Some people have said maybe the appeal court may be sympathetic to the ruling of the CCT.
I think if you look at it on matters of law, it will succeed on appeal. I don't know if politics is going to have a play in decisions of the court. If you look at my opinion, I might be wrong. If you look at it on points of law, or it didn't have jurisdiction, this matter had gone forward to the court upstairs, you should have waited, this and that. On the fine points of law, yes, I think it would succeed. There's a likelihood of success. And he will go to the Supreme Court.
What is the likelihood in the Supreme Court that he will do that? Because it's already split. Because, of course, right now...
We mentioned this the last time. Because he himself is a Supreme Court judge. And then he is now going to appeal to the Supreme Court if he gets there. And you see, we keep dragging this... Because as it is now, he has filed a notice of appeal. He is still the CJ. It might not be in office. You might have an acting CJ. He is still the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Notwithstanding the decision
CCT.
of no, because he has gone on appeal, and when you go on appeal, all parties must seize what status quo must be maintained. So he's gone on appeal. What's going to happen in the next 2 months? I think Tanko, the acting CJ, has been there for a month now.
Yes,
he can only be acting for 3 months.
For 3 months.
So
as a matter of fact, not just a month. It's been there more than a month. As a matter of fact, so something has to happen.
There you go.
Okay, now here's the other aspect of this conversation. People have still continued to ask what happens with his with the suit brought against him by the EFCC. Now there is this document that has been circulating. I don't know how authentic it is, but it kind of lists out a lot of all the accusations or allegations by the EFCC on financial misappropriation that he has probably committed. Yes, there is this. It's floating. Like I said, it's floating around. It was sent to me via my WhatsApp page and something like that. There are people who are actively saying that he has done something wrong. How do you think that case is going to go?
I haven't seen the document. However, if the EFCC have built a case against him, then based on the recommendations of the NJC, blah blah blah, he should be charged to court. Every accused person should have his day in court. Nobody is above the law.
This has turned out to be much messier than a lot of people thought.
And it's going to get messier because the CJN is going to defend himself.
Finally,
he has nothing to lose anymore. So he's been boxed into a corner.
Finally, Loretta Onnoghen, one of the aides of the president, tweeted, "One down, more to go." She praised, the
She's just doing her job.
That's an interesting way to put it. Thank you, Kola Lakmuni, for taking our time to talk to us. Please give us your comments on the comment section of this video. My name is Gloria Oji Emodi.